Hey yo YouTube, welcome back. It's 10-5 Plays, and I got this dope video for y'all today. So check this out. I'm sure as you guys know, there was an interview done where Eiji Ayanuma gave an interview where he spoke a little bit about the process that's going on with Breath of the Wild 2. Now, my man stated that the devs working on the game, a lot of the younger ones, are currently playing or were playing Red Dead Redemption 2. Now, the question directly was, what games were the younger team members inspired by as they were developing the game? And this was the answer they gave. Much like how Breath of the Wild had influences in Skyrim and, So that brings me to the point of this video. There are things in Red Dead Redemption 2 that I think would work really, really well in the next installment in the Breath of the Wild set of Zelda games. Now, I'm not saying to turn Zelda into Red Dead Redemption 2 because it doesn't need to. Zelda was fire. So I'm saying, what are some things that the devs could have picked up from Red Dead Redemption 2 that would be really awesome to see in the Breath of the Wild sequel? So that's what we're gonna get into. So one of the first things that come to mind are the main characters of the game. Now, in Breath of the Wild, the main characters weren't there, really. You had their descendants, but they weren't really integrated into the story with you in any real meaningful way, except for the one or two moments where they were needed. Other than that, I really didn't see or speak to any of them. Whereas in Red Dead Redemption 2, the characters that you are around the entire game feel like family. Like that dude Dutch, I actually hated Dutch. Like he was a real person. Like they did a really good job of making the side characters feel real. And that's something that I would love to see in Breath of the Wild 2 with other characters that are around Link. Also, to have other characters around Link, which is also a positive. I feel like Zelda's gonna play a different type of role in this game than maybe we've seen before. So to have their interactions kind of be that way would really be nice. Next, a good update on hunting animals. I do really enjoy the hunting in Breath of the Wild. I think it's simple, yet it's effective. And sometimes not so simple, depending on how you kill the animal, something might happen to the meat that drops from it, different things like that. So I'm talking more like let's say for instance, Link has a rope and he can use the rope to try and get certain horses or to get pigs or, something like that. A nice new gameplay mechanic implemented to kind of just make the hunting a little more robust. Make it not feel so much like the first game, but also like an enhancement. Which also brings me to something that would be cool is just to have a rope, almost like the grappling rope in Wind Waker. You can use the rope for certain things. It doesn't have to be for that. There can be certain areas where you use the rope to help you climb. You see something that the rope can attach to and you use it to help you climb up the side of a mountain. Maybe when it rains, so it's a good way to get around that mechanic while still making it feasible and not taking away from anything going on into the game. I think something like that would be really, really cool. So, yeah, I'm all for it. Now, in Red Dead Redemption 2, you can take your gun to the gun store and, you can get new guns, you can fix your guns, you can clean them, you can do a bunch of stuff. I would like something like that in Breath of the Wild. Maybe not a gun store, obviously. It would be more of a blacksmith. A blacksmith is something that's been in the Zelda franchise since the dawn of human history. So it would be cool to have a blacksmith and, you can go in, maybe repair a weapon, maybe upgrade it. So, when a weapon's kind of teetering on breaking, you can go there and get it fixed. Maybe there are different grades to fixing it, but also if the blacksmith is across the map and you can't get there, or you don't have the money, or you maybe don't have the resources to fix it, you're still going to be stuck with it and it's going to break. So it's a nice update to the mechanic without ruining what the breakable weapons built, because I'm one of the people who did not whine and cry about the breakable weapons. I thought it was pretty fine. You know, it made the gameplay interesting with the weapons you want to use or the weapons that you wanted to save and not use. I mean, I thought it was a cool mechanic, and I think that this would just enhance it and it would make it even better. Now, this is something that I think would be amazing in Breath of the Wild 2, and it would be a camp system. Now, in Red Dead Redemption 2, it's nighttime, you're wandering around, it's dark, you know, things are happening, people are coming out trying to rob you. You can build a camp and kind of set up there, you can cook some food, maybe not as great as you could at an actual camp or, you know, where you're staying at, but still, you have a camp there, you know, you can upgrade it, put stuff into it to, you know, make yourself more comfortable, whatever. I feel like having that in Breath of the Wild 2 would really be awesome. Maybe people will try and attack you, you know, like the Yiga clan, even though I kind of hope they're gone and done with. You know, something cool like that. I think that it would be an interesting mechanic and it would enhance the gameplay in a positive way. You know, I'd really like to see it. Now, the next thing would be legendary animals. You know, Red Dead Redemption 2 had the legendary animals to certain areas. You'd kill them, you take their skin and do whatever, and you get stuff for it. Now, I'm not saying you have to kill the legendary animals, even if you had to, it is what it is. But maybe something as simple as taking a picture or, you know, I guess killing them, doing something. But having a legendary animal would be cool, even if the legendary animal is something related to the history of Zelda. You know, maybe a character that you've seen before, you know, maybe like a certain creature and its name is Farron and it's kind of reminiscent of Farron from Twilight Princess. You know, I think something like that would be really interesting, and that's like a legendary animal, and maybe not kill it, or maybe kind of like you do with the dragons in Breath of the Wild. You know, you shoot them with an arrow and something comes out, or you catch them, you talk to them, you know, you do something. Maybe they drop something and you have to get it, and there you go. Some type of interaction with these legendary animals, I think, would be really, really, really cool. And also make each place, you know, just kind of special. You know, have your own animal, kind of fit the area, and it would be awesome. It would be a great time. Now, this one is where it comes to your horse. Now, there's not a whole lot that I feel needs to be changed with the horse. Just some options that I think would be cool. You know, like in Red Dead, when you know someone's coming to serve you some smoke, you know you're about to get in some smoke, you can hop off your horse and you can send it away so it's out of danger. So just a way to, you know, upgrade from one game to the next. I think just these little changes would help out a lot. Alright, so for this one, I would like, how do you word this? More in-town events that other NPCs will react to. You know, like in Red Dead, you had that one dude who was spewing some racist propaganda and trying to get you to get his book or his pamphlet or something, and you saw him and you served his jaw with those knuckles, you know what I'm saying? I thought that was cool, and everyone reacted to it. Oh my god, what happened? You know, they didn't just kind of like flinch and then go back to their standard NPC pose. You know, I'd like to see people around have a little bit more of a reaction to what Link does and what he's doing. You know what I mean? If he comes in with like an open flame, they're like, oh my god, what's going on? You know, I feel like that would help the towns feel a little bit more alive and give you, or make you feel like you're interacting with it more. I would really appreciate that. Now, this is something that I missed in Breath of the Wild and that I really want, and that is boats. Now, the rafts were cool, but one, when you didn't have a Deku Leaf, you ain't had no raft. There was nothing you can do. You're gonna stand there and wait for the wind to blow you to nothing? No, so you have to take up a space in your inventory. Eventually you're gonna find a weapon you want, you're gonna get rid of it, and then you're gonna have to choose. I feel like having access to boats would be a great option, and I think with boats should also come fishing. You know, you have a game where fish are meaningful. You know, you catch fish and you can actually do stuff with them. So I feel like having a deeper system for the fishing would really work out really well. You know, you can even have bait and have certain bait catch certain type of fish. I think it would work really well. Now, in Red Dead, there are multiple hidden things for you to find. And in Zelda, I know the big thing was the Korok seeds. Now, I don't want the Korok seeds back because obviously we've done them already. But when there's something else to find, I don't want it to just be that one thing. I'd like multiple things to find. Maybe to have, stuff to do with different tribes. Something that has to do with the Gorons or something that has to do with the Zoras, around that you have to find. Maybe paintings on the wall or something. It was cool in Red Dead trying to find all the carvings and stuff like that. It was really awesome, and I would really, 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 really love to see that come about again. And another thing, I guess kind of related, maybe not, are treasure maps. Getting a treasure map, the world's big enough, is expansive enough. I think it would be cool if you found a treasure map and then you go off and you have to find some hidden treasure, and then there you go. It's in a certain spot and you got to use whatever mechanics are in the game to get it. I think it would just enhance gameplay. Again, add more stuff to do, not be worrisome, be optional, not be something that you feel like you have to do, and be fun while you're doing it. That's just my opinion. I think it would be great. Now, this, I would like more entertainment options. Whereas in Red Dead, you and your guys can go out and kind of chill. You can do what you want to do. You can take chicks to shows. You have options. You can do cool things. You can do cool things for yourself. A lot of the stuff takes place in towns too. And that's something that I kind of missed in Breath of the Wild. I did feel like the towns were kind of generic. After a while, you go in, you buy up all the arrows, and you leave. I like a little more in the towns with more to do in them to make you want to come back, or make you want to go to certain towns and not other ones because there are other things to do. It's not just kind of like a carbon copy of the same town. You hit this door, you hit this door, you hit this door, you leave. I feel like, certain towns in Red Dead, you went there because of the atmosphere, you went there because there's this to do and that to do, and this is here and he's there, and this primary building is in the town. I feel like Breath of the Wild could really use a little bit more of that. And on the topic, it would be cool if Breath of the Wild 2 had towns in like varying states. And what I mean is like the quality of the town. I feel like every town you hit in Breath of the Wild that has any type of meaning or purpose is kind of just good. You hit Kakariko Village, it's beautiful. You hit any of the other villages, beautiful. Laurelin Village, beautiful. It would be cool to have one that's just not beautiful. That's kind of like been hurt, going through some times, trying to build itself back up. Not pristine quality. You don't go there and think it's great. Maybe even help with it. I think they were on the right track, making that, Terrytown? I think they were on the right track with that. But it just turned into another beautiful village. You go there and you buy some arrows and you leave. Maybe sell some diamonds. I think enhancing or de-hancing some villages, kind of making them different. Make it a different experience while you're there. Even in Zora's Domain, like if it was less of just like walking from here to there, maybe more swimming to get from place to place, instead of it just being the same cluster of stores that are in every other village, it would have made it a lot more interesting and made villages a lot more dynamic. So that is something that I'd love to see in the next game. Now, outfits in Breath of the Wild was a huge step up from previous games. Obviously you could change your armor and stuff, but here you have different outfits. You have stuff like the Nintendo Switch outfit, or just the Hylian armor, or other armor that you could put on just for cosmetics, or maybe not cosmetics, So I think having a more customizable option for your outfits would be cool. In Red Dead Redemption, they went really customizable. I'm not saying do all that for Zelda because that can be a little tedious and that's not really Link's thing, but having a little bit more options would be pretty neat. Speaking of you, I think and I'm sure a lot of people feel this way, the game would benefit more from a longer story. Breath of the Wild story was weird because you can consider you go in, you fight Ganon, you win. Like everything is optional, but I feel like the trek there isn't all that long. Not a whole lot of stuff actually happens. So I feel like making the story longer, way more events happening until you get to the end of the actual story would be pretty fantastic. I did love that you had the freedom to kind of do what you wanted to do, and if you feel like you could go and beat Ganon, you could. But also at the same token, I'm pretty good at Breath of the Wild, not tooting my own horn, but I got up the Great Plateau, I went and I killed him. So there you go. Now, in Red Dead Redemption 2, you get stopped by a lot of random strangers, or you don't, you can keep going. I would love to see that in Breath of the Wild too. Most of the time when you get stopped by people in Breath of the Wild, it turns out to be some scumbag chick dressed as some random Yuga Clan guy, and then you fight him and then that's it. I like more stuff like, oh, my horse is hurt, can you help, or can you do this? Oh, I'm sick, do you have this particular type of potion? Oh, I have to do this or this, and you have to, fulfill those options, but it's optional. And I think there should be a lot of them so that obviously it doesn't get repetitive. You don't want to, get tired of it. You want a good quality. And I feel like Nintendo can bring that quality because they're Nintendo. So that's something I would really love to see. More stranger missions, stranger events, whatever. And also, I would like some of those events to be characters trying to screw you over. Playing Red Dead, there's no shortage of someone asking you to do something only for someone to come out and try and rob you. And I know Nintendo doesn't want to push the game to kind of be like scumbag central, but, having NPCs that just aren't good people but not exactly enemies, I feel like would be pretty cool. I think that it would be a nice switch up from what we're used to, and then it would, again, push Zelda in a newer direction, and it would be great. Now, this, I guess, is pretty common sense, but I would like to find a place that, sells cooked food or weapons, almost like a bakery or something. Like you go there, oh, here's an apple pie for sale, oh, here's this, instead of just being an ingredient shop. The ingredient shops are good, but I think a good way to enhance this is to have places that will sell you the cooked product, like an actual restaurant or bakery or whatever you want to call it. You go there, you can get the food. Maybe you can't even just buy it and take it with you. Maybe you can go there and you eat it there and you heal yourself. Something cool like that. I think it would mix things up a little bit and also make towns a little bit more interesting. Maybe a place that sells special weapons, the Gorons have special weapons where they're mainly for breaking rocks and boulders. Can have, a place that sells stuff like that. I just think it would be a cool way to enhance the gameplay. Now, the last thing that I really want to see is more of a build-up between protagonist and antagonist. You felt the dread of Calamity Ganon the whole time, but eventually I feel like that dread, I don't want to say it went away, but you knew what it was. It wasn't expanded upon, it wasn't built upon, it just was what it was. I feel like in Red Dead, you had you and you had Dutch. And I feel like your relationship in the game, you kind of felt the characters that were becoming scumbaggy. And as the game progressed, so did your anger and your hatred. Now, I'm not saying Link needs to have a close relationship with Ganondorf. I'm just saying that having certain things happen in the game, certain events, certain meetings, certain dialogue, some things happen that really, really, really do fuel you to want to go and take him down. So by the end of the game, you're kind of like pissed off and you want to take down Ganondorf. Not because necessarily the game's telling you that that's what you have to do, but because that's what you want to do. You want to serve him some smoke. I would love that. I think that would be excellent. But that's all I got for now. I'm sure there's more. If I can think of them, maybe I'll make another video. Probably not, but maybe. We'll see what happens. So I want to thank everybody who watched this. This is a new channel. I'm trying to get these views up. I want people to really see what I'm making because I'm actually pretty passionate about it. So shout out to everybody. Shout out to my subscribers. I got like 6 right now, and you 6 are amazing. I'm gonna do a giveaway or something for y'all. Give you some broke guy gifts because that's all I got. So, you know, if you want, hit that subscribe button because I'm coming with more heat all the time. You know what I'm saying? It's 10-5 plays, boy, and I'm back at it. You know what I'm saying? So thanks for watching. I'm gonna catch y'all next time. Peace.